Well, full day at the track.
Yes.
At least 1 million. Okay, let's not exaggerate. 500,000 laps each.
Which killed us all.
Yes, I'd be honest. You tired last night?
Knackered.
Yeah, now?
Knackered.
Yeah, still knackered.
I'm kind of thinking I'm sitting and I plan to stay here for a long time.
It's a nice place to spend the night, actually.
Yeah.
That much performance, and talking about all three bikes here, that much performance is just difficult to hold on to. The braking is difficult to stop you going over the front. It's a physically demanding exercise.
Yes.
Let me start with the GSX-R1000, which, as we know, is new. Just give you a little bit of a rundown. I absolutely loved it to bits. And I think I need to start with the engine. It's always the engine with the GSX-R, isn't it? Well, now this has brought variable valve timing, a simple mechanical process that it's so simple I don't understand it.
Well done.
Ball bearings in a thing,
In a pot.
and then it
just rattle
spins
around,
out.
yeah.
But anyway, it means you get the best of both worlds, a decent mid-range, and then adjust the valve timing for a howling top up to 14,500 RPM these days. In 1,000. That's mad. So the engine is a belter. The handling, which has always been a little bit of the weak point, the GSX-R, always had that engine who didn't like corners too much. That's changed. Amazing, fantastic turning ability, quite quick steering, feels confident on the brakes.
The more you rode that, actually, the more you liked it, didn't
Yes, and it changed because I sort of got to it after we've played with it before. I'm like, yes, it's a GSX-R. It's mad, it's bad, it's rough. Well, you know what? It's actually pretty civilized and smooth and sophisticated and.
you? No, it's not.
Yes, it is, really.
I think in this sort of forum with these three, yeah.
Within these three, yeah, it's quite sophisticated. I will point out, though, that I was a little disappointed in the braking. It's got Brembo discs to go with the calipers. The discs are a little bit smaller than they are in the other two. Loads of fancy technology, ABS and rubber hoses. And I did feel a bit of brake fade occasionally.
Why would you go to all that trouble of making the top-notch
I know.
components and then put rubber hoses on?
To save 48 rand or something.
Tell me, Harry, your Honda has rubber hoses.
It does, yes, but I wasn't obviously braking nearly hard enough, so they didn't fade.
Yeah, I was kind of looking, you know, the ZX10, yeah, it's a year and a half old. It's got steel.
I sense some gloating coming on.
Yeah, here we go.
You double checked it earlier. I'm sure those were
Steel braided hoses.
Yes, they are.
were.
And we all rode all of the bikes. I must admit, I felt a bit of the brake fade thing going on with yours, so rubber hoses. They're cheap.
It's cheap. You're
silly
paying this
idea,
much
isn't it?
money.
Yeah.
Give us some decent
Okay,
equipment.
giving you a bit of a rundown on the Suzuki, which I can end with the instruments are cluttered and black and white and horrible and look out of date. A bit disappointing. Honda.
I loved it. Look, I'm not a great superbike fan. I find them far too extreme
They're
for
ridiculous.
my liking. But that is the first superbike I've jumped on which I can enjoy riding. I feel I can do it 20%
It's
justice.
blisteringly fast, yet it sounds weird, but it is easy to ride, and that's a hugely important thing. Because you get on some bikes and you're like, oh,
It's a
I
bit
don't know what to do.
intimidating.
Yeah.
I mean, on the GSX-R, I found that for some weird reason a lot more extreme than the Honda, even though it's exactly the same riding position. But the Honda, I just sort of fitted into. It's small, it's nimble, it's light.
It's not like, should we say, overwhelming.
It's certainly
No,
not overwhelming.
exactly, yeah.
It really isn't
You feel
overwhelming.
like you're in control.
Yes,
It
definitely.
looks the best, in my humble opinion.
Yes,
it's got the
easily.
Yeah.
best fit and finish of all three. I mean, it's just
Yes.
beautifully made, as in Honda
But I will
typical
say
way.
this much, as I have noticed, when you look at the people behind the scenes in the Honda motorcycles, there's a few Italian names there.
Yes, in the design
That
department.
does look very Italian, does
It's
it not?
just-
And
does
let's
that-
not be
does-
rude, but the other two, Japanese engineering, brilliant. The Kawasaki and the Suzuki obviously have no Italian influence in the way they look, and they look.
Anyway, moving on to the Kawasaki.
Yes, now, we rode it about a year and a half ago. We liked it.
Yes.
We didn't really love it. We liked it, you know what I mean? It was,
It was a
very
bit
good.
flat, wasn't
It was
it,
a bit
really?
flat, you know, unless you're revving it.
Yeah.
Well, I was
Yes.
about to say something rude, but unless you're revving it a lot, it didn't do much. But I mean, the nice thing about these motorbikes is it's all computer. So I mean, it's just a simple case of a man with glasses sits on his computer, and then you push a button and it goes into all the ECUs. And I suspect they've done that.
They
because,
have to have done something.
I mean, that engine is now magnificent.
It is.
It's just. I
It's
mean,
got a bottom end and a mid-range where previously there was not
There was
a lot.
nothing,
Really.
and also, I mean, on the overrun, it just goggles and snarls and just,
Yes.
Yeah, it pops and
Do we
bangs.
think they've engineered that in, or is that a happy accident?
I suspect the big bosses of Kawasaki will tell you it's an accident. I suspect the guy with the keyboard
Nonsense,
is
yeah.
giggling.
We're talking about sound, yeah, that is
Yes.
brilliant, and it does sort of have an effect. But standard, the blade is the best sounding of them all. Stood at the side of the track,
Yes.
listening to go past, roaring airbox, bit of a rorty exhaust.
Yes.
So, yeah. Handling-wise, that's always been good, Don, but I think it even surprised us again, didn't it? It's still there.
It's definitely bigger, and it
Yes.
doesn't turn in quite. And look, Apexes, you remember those? I mean, they happen
doesn't.
sometimes. You know?
Yeah, the turning and stuff isn't as quick and as lightning as the others, but I did weirdly feel on the Kawasaki happiest at full lean.
You do
It
feel
feels-
very safe.
It
Yeah.
feels, it feels a lot. It feels really solid and planted. Maybe
Yeah.
because it's so heavy.
Is
Well,
it that
heavy's not
heavy?
always bad, you know.
Well, cutting to the chase, actually, I know people are going to ask this. What were the lap times like? Because
So-
I went out and tried to, well, you think that's what you need to do. And what did we find out? Well, a bit like a feature I did last year, I think, where we took some bikes to the mountains and I was the same pace on all of them. It's the human that's the limiting factor.
Completely.
So I can go up to a pace, let's say it's 2-minute lap time, and I won't go any faster because I feel uncomfortable.
No matter which bike you're on.
Yes, irrespective of which bike. Yeah.
It is the sort of crap yourself line, you know.
Yes,
what I mean?
it is.
Once you
it
get
is.
there, you can be.
I like being alive. I could probably do a 159, but I'm not fond of dying. So, and the fact is, unless your surname is like a Marquez or a Lorenzo, you are not capable of taking these bikes to their limits.
Nowhere
I'm
near.
sorry. So
Yeah.
whoever we put on it for a lap time, they're going to do how quick they can go, and then the bike's
That's
still
it.
got loads left.
Yeah. There is one more issue which we do need to address here very quickly.
Yes.
We're looking at nigh on R250,000 for each of these bikes.
That's true. Well, let's just touch on the price quickly. 240,
240 for the Suzuki, 240 for the Honda, and
230,
229.
229.
And may I just add something? It comes standard with a quick shift.
well, this is where I was going to go.
Yeah.
In this day and age, okay, the SP version and the
R
R version of that will
yeah.
have quick shifters, but you're spending £250,000
It's
on
ridiculous.
this. You've just put a quick shifter on for
It's
us.
ridiculous. And I have a feeling the fact that the SPs and the fancy models have arrived, it almost feels like they've taken it away from the standard bike.
Just to
That's
justify the higher price
It's
of it.
ridiculous. You think of all the adventure bikes, middleweight tourers, that Ducati Supersport, the MV Augustus, nearly bloody adventure bikes are just your key hour long-termers. Everything's
Quick
got an
shifters.
auto blipper.
Yet a super bike, which is a racing track
And
bike.
it's $250,000.
It doesn't have one.
they're-
No, that's
I don't mean to
ridiculous.
be rude, but they're taking the mick, aren't they?
Yeah,
really?
completely.
They're taking the mick.
Yeah.
Oh, good, that felt good, a bit of a rant.
Okay, so question time. Which one would you take home?
I'm going to check it out and go last.
What's the ideal bike? Because Donovan came up with something here. We've been chatting about this because it really is incredibly difficult to arrive at a decision. But Don, what's your ideal bike?
Yeah, okay, this is what I think. I think the ZX10 engine
Yes,
in the GSX-R chassis
yes.
with the looks and build quality of the Honda.
Fantastic.
That would be
He
the
lives
best
in a
bike
fantasy
ever.
land. It probably would be a brilliant bike. However, if I had to spend my own money, and we're talking about spending a lot of money, I've got to be honest, I'd take the Honda home with me. Looks are important, aren't they? And it's quality.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to walk away from the bike, turn around,
And
look at it and go,
yeah.
And that, for me, it's also the Fireblade. I
Also
have to
for
say.
you, okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, but there's a reason for this. I agree with both of you, yes. But the problem with me, I'm not very bendy.
What are you saying? You don't fit?
Yeah, it is a lot more cramped than the other two, especially the foot pegs. And it's ironic because Harry's taller than me, yet
I
he's
know.
fine. I've got tendons.
So
made
which of the
twigs.
other two are you taking then?
I actually don't know. I'm so torn. I mean, I've
That's,
been very happy
no,
with either of them.
that's not a bad answer, mate, to be
Okay.
honest. They are that close. A lot of your choice will come down to how they make you feel. Go for a test ride. Do you like the colour? Do you support the brand? They're all about 240 grand. They're all fast enough to fry your brain. What more do we need to say?
Time for an ad break.
Good one.